This is a common question that I get from clients who engage me for retirement planning and advisory. Question is in different version. Right? Am I able to retire next year or 2 years later with 2 million, 3 million, 4 million or 5 million in my retirement savings or whatever the figure is? And this is how we are going to tell you, if you're the client, the exact answers to this question. Now, if you're expecting a very direct answer, to say yes or no, I have to tell you it doesn't work like that. And let me explain to you why in detail. First off, we always want to chart out a baseline scenario based on what you are already doing right now. That means that what you are earning, how much you are spending in terms of your lifestyle and your loan commitments that you are still paying, which is form part of your liabilities. Now, if you were to want to retire next year or X number of years from now, then do you want to actually keep paying those liabilities even after you stop working or retire? Or you're looking to say you're going to settle all the debts before you retire? So again, we have to know that, right? So what you are doing right now in terms of your investment, in terms of your money, how much you are spending right now, how much you are earning, what are your assets in terms of probably your properties, your investment portfolio, and also your EPF. What is your lifestyle after retirement and all that? The baseline scenario that we are going to crunch, take all your numbers and really chart it out. The baseline scenario, we can actually answer the question to say that what you currently have, if you stop your active income, you're basically left with all your assets and the liabilities that you might still need to pay, or you might want to pay them off. So for example, if you're earning like 350,000 a year in your mid-40s or early 40s, and you're spending about 200,000 a year, and you've got that surplus of about 150,000 a year, if you intend to retire early, say at 55, in the next 10 years, even if assuming you do not have any increment, we can actually tell what would be the projected amount of your EPF at 55 based on your current numbers and your income. And assuming that you want to maintain your retirement lifestyle after retirement. The baseline scenario says that if you work for another 10 more years, the money that you would have by then would last you until more than 90 years old. But with this thing, medical insurance premium inflation, we now, when we plan for clients, when we advise clients, we actually have to factor in what if your medical insurance premium would be increasing like 10% every year from now on. Naturally, that means that after retirement, you need to allocate more and more to pay for that. In case you do not want to pay for your medical bills, well, having a medical insurance make it easier for you to plan how much you're going to pay, right, in the future, even if it goes up 10% a year, rather than to actually plan for your medical bill, because you do not know how large your future medical bill is going to be, because you do not know why you would be admitted to hospital and when it will happen. So with this kind of scenario, medical insurance premium inflation factor into the planning, and this would definitely reduce your retirement sustainability. Once we have this kind of baseline scenario, clients always ask, hey, can I bring forward my retirement, like retire early, say next year or immediately? And then we have to do what I call as cause and effect scenario analysis or stress test to see that if your active income stops immediately or even next year, then how likely your money is going to run out by a certain age. So in this scenario, seems like the money is going to run out when client is in the early 70s, which is really not an ideal scenario. But when we add in another variable, which is the medical insurance premium inflation, to this retire early or retire immediately scenario, we stress test again this kind of scenario, and we can tell what's going to happen is that about 20-30 years from now, you are going to run out of money in your late 60s. Now, this kind of scenario is really getting more important to plan ahead, because even the Central Bank of Malaysia officially acknowledged that medical cost inflation is reaching 15% a year. So if you do not plan to have any medical insurance, especially after retirement, you will be prone to this direct medical cost inflation. And it is much harder to plan, which means there's more danger it imposes to your retirement fund, which you have worked and saved for the past few decades. One medical bill in your 60s could really wipe out your retirement savings. And this is a trend, and even though Bank Negara only say 15% 1 year, but if you look at for the past recent year, this has always been the trend when it comes to medical inflation costs. But the thing is, if you look at any insurance claims, medical insurance claims, there are always these two main illnesses that Malaysians are afraid of, very common: cancer and heart attack. Let's talk about cancer treatment, right? This kind of cancer treatment will be costing you as high as close to 400,000 for breast cancer, and on the lower end, it could be a colon cancer, 85,000, or lung cancer. Now, if today's cost is 40,000, if you imagine with an inflation of 12% per year in the next 12 years, next decade, that 400,000 today would be 1.5 million. So this is really the scenario that we want our clients to be very aware of. And this is part of the wealth management advisory, where we help our clients make better informed money decisions today to reduce financial leakages, make their money work harder and more efficiently. There's a link where you can check out our client stories or testimonial and the scope of services of advisory that we provide. Don't forget to follow for more past and futures videos like this on your feed. So can you imagine if you stop working today and you do not have a medical insurance to cover this kind of medical contingency, and if you thought medical card or medical insurance premium hike is bad, so you get very pissed off, you stop paying for that for your medical insurance many years back, and say 10 years from now, in your late 50s, there's a medical bill that hits you, and this medical bill needs you to pay huge 7 figures amount in the future, say 1.5 million. Now the thing is, no matter how much you have in your EPF, it is just insane to use that retirement fund to pay for medical bill. It could wipe out your EPF lump sum immediately, and it would further impact the sustainability of your retirement fund, and you could run out of money by mid-60 because you are depleting your EPF retirement savings, which you have accumulated for decades just for one medical bill. How does that going to make any sense? Now, if you say you are in your mid-40s and you really cannot accept working for another 10 more years, but you can probably work for another few more years, 3, 4 or 5, but definitely not another 10 years, then what can you do? And this is why how we help our clients explore a few ways in our advisory or consultation by asking clients these questions. Question number 1, how much can you downgrade your desired post-retirement lifestyle? Yes, you want to maintain your lifestyle after retirement. The thing is, now you have to think, you cannot retire early and also maintain the same lifestyle after retirement. You can have either one, but you definitely cannot have both. So one of these goals have to be lower. Which one can you consider to lower? If you say that I need to retire no more than 3 years from now, then you need to probably adjust your post-retirement lifestyle expectation by saying that how much money you are going to spend after retirement. Maybe you can opt for a simple retirement lifestyle instead of maintaining your current retirement lifestyle. The second question is, do you have any commitments that you are overpaying for? For example, an expensive insurance savings plan. Now, when I look at insurance savings plan, most of the time, they are not really giving my clients the kind of return that they are looking for anyway, but they just did not realize it. You have to look whether any insurance saving plan that you have is still feasible or still good. You have to look at what is the total premium that you have paid versus what has been the cash value that you are getting out of it. And the third question I want you, if you are my client, right, I want you to explore is that if we can boost up our overall investment portfolio return. Now, there could be some underperforming investment, with property investment or investment property being the most common if they are not growing at the rate that you have been expecting, or they are not generating enough rental income. If you were to sell the property, you use that sales proceed that you can squeeze out from it, and you're going to reinvest that into other instruments. At the same time, you could use part of that sales proceeds to settle the loan, and what is left, you can always find better reinvestment options. Let it sit for the next 3, 4 or 5 years to actually quicken your early retirement goals. And the fourth question that I want my clients to actually explore, or we help them explore, is that even some of your investments are doing okay, you have to look at your entire investment portfolio in a holistic manner, and if possible, boost the overall investment portfolio risk-adjusted return starting now. Because when you reach 40, you have to look at the risk when it comes to investment, the downside risk as well as the upside. If there's a market crash for a year, you might not have that kind of time to recover your investment before you retire. And the fifth question that we discuss with our clients is that if you have a very niche skill set or very unique skills or experience, you definitely can get paid more, 30-50% more, by being headhunted into a different company. And this could actually make the whole early retirement roadmap significantly better, and you feel more confident and more secure to retire early. So these are the 5 things that we always help our clients to explore. It could be a combination of these few things so that you can see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to how long should I generate income for how many years more before I could feel confident and secure to retire early, and not having your money run out too early before you run out of life.